If you've never been on the receiving end of narcissistic abuse, it's very hard to understand. You can not wrap your brain around what a victim of narcissistic abuse is trying to describe because it's just so crazy. It's so unlike anything normal people would do that it's just really hard to believe. One way you can get a really clear view of what narcissistic abuse looks like, the traits of a narcissist, is to watch the Darrell Brooks trial. If you don't know who that is, it's the person who drove through a parade, the Christmas parade in Waukesha, Wisconsin, last November 2021, killed 6 people, injured 60-something more. Really a devastating tragedy. He is representing himself in his defense. Actually, the trial has now ended. He was found guilty on all counts. I'm filming this before the sentencing has happened, so that is still to come. But I personally have been obsessed with watching this trial because it was like a case study of a narcissist in action. So I thought this was a great thing for me to talk about for you so that you can see, maybe it'll validate for you what that kind of behavior looks like outside of your own marriage. This is going to trigger you, I promise, but I think it's absolutely necessary to validate that you are not alone. This didn't just happen to you. There are people out there who behave this way, who think these things, who do these horrific tactics to try to gaslight you, manipulate you, make you believe things that aren't true. So I wanted to spend some time in this video talking about the different traits that this person used in their trial, the narcissistic traits that I observed, and then you can watch it for yourself. And you can see if you can spot the traits that you're experiencing from your narcissistic partner in Darrell Brooks to see if it correlates. And I think it's going to be really eye-opening. Not funny at all. It's a tragedy, but educational perhaps. So I think it serves a purpose to watch this real life case study. But first, will you do me a favor and subscribe to my channel? That's how these videos are going to get in front of more of the people who really need to hear this information. I'm Victoria McCooey. I'm a narcissist divorce coach, a motivational speaker, and the creator of the Reclaim Your Power system. I talk to people every day who are right where you are, stuck in a toxic marriage to a narcissistic spouse, or already engaged in a contentious divorce from one. So, what are some of the traits that I observed in watching this trial unfold over the past 3 weeks? The first trait that popped out at me is this tendency to repeat things until they become the truth. So, what that looks like is the narcissist will come up with some crazy fabrication, something completely untrue, and just repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. Now, the narcissist will believe that it's true. I mean, I've read that they can even take a polygraph test and pass because this has become true to them. They believe it, but they think, and it sometimes works for them, that if they repeat something enough times, other people will believe it as well. In this trial, Darrell Brooks repeats over and over that that is not his name. He does not identify by that name. Now, they also had footage of him being arrested, asked his name, and he said Brooks, and they said first name, and he said Darrell. So he's already confessed on camera, on videotape, that it was his name, but now during the trial, he is saying it's not his name, he doesn't identify as that name, or the name in the caption of the case is in uppercase letters, in Darrell Brooks in uppercase letters, and that is not his name. Like all these stretches of the imagination to try to convince a jury that that's not his name, and so this to create a mistrial, or that the trial's not in order, that they can't proceed, or whatever he's trying to do. But he says it over and over, not just once a day, but multiple times every day. Every time someone refers to him or speaks to him by name, he chimes up, I don't identify by that name. Now, who would have the audacity, right, to continue to say something so absurd over and over and over. But this is a narcissist, right? They just don't adhere to any kind of social norms. They just don't care. It's like they have no shame. They will just do whatever it takes and make themselves, we think that they are looking ridiculous. We think they're making themselves look absurd, but they can't even feel that because of their grandiosity, which is another trait of a narcissist. So the grandiosity, believing that you could represent yourself in a murder trial. He is convicted now of homicide. He killed 6 people, and he has the grandiosity to believe that he can win a trial representing himself against the DA's office, convincing a jury, outwitting a judge. Who in the normal world, do you know anyone who would ever think so highly of themselves, so highly of their intellect, which he clearly thinks that he's smarter than anyone else in the room when you watch this? Who would think that? Who would believe that about themselves? It's absurd, but this is how a narcissist thinks. Another one is sense of entitlement. He goes on and on all day, every day, about what's fair to him, what should be done for him, how he deserves better treatment, how dare the judge disrespect him when he has been outlandishly disrespectful. I mean, to the point where I'm cringing at the way he's speaking to this judge, just the lack of respect and decorum. It's mind-blowing. But at the same time, he is appalled by how little respect he's getting, the person on trial. So just the sense of entitlement is, and one time they made him wait after the end of the day to receive the papers that were being written up. I forget exactly what the details were, what it was that they were compiling for him to take back to his jail cell. That's where he had to go. So he was waiting for an hour. I mean, believe me, the stalls he's created in this trial amount to much more than an hour. But he was so put out that he had to wait an hour to receive something. He actually said to the judge, couldn't that have been sent to me in my jail cell? Like, couldn't you have messengered it over to me and let me go back to my jail cell when I wanted to go back? I mean, the entitlement is absurd. And of course, there's the trait that most people relate to narcissists, which is lack of empathy. No empathy for his victims. He did not once, as far as I know, and I watched almost all of it, say any sort of apology or sympathy for the victims. It was just all about him. He became the victim. He made himself out to be the victim. He went so far as to question family members, mothers whose children were struck and hurt by him, with zero empathy, nothing. And even when the prosecution was questioning witnesses whose children were endangered or hurt, there was one mother I remember right off the top of my head who had 4 children all injured, and I might have the details wrong, but multiple children of her own all injured, seriously injured in this tragedy. No empathy. Not one note or word of concern, not a tear, not any kind of reaction on his face while she was being questioned and telling the story of the injuries her children sustained. No sympathy at all, which is mind-boggling to the rest of us. But this is how narcissists are wired. And then there's drama. He creates so much drama, which is such a typical narcissistic trait, right? The rage over something, pretty insignificant. Here's a perfect example when the DA was handing something to the bailiff, and she was speaking while she was going to hand it to him. Her voice got louder because she was stepping away from her microphone, so she felt like she had to speak louder, and the word defendant came out very loud. That's all. Not in any kind of negative way. She just pronounced it louder than the rest of her words because she stepped away from the microphone. He was enraged by this and created so much drama over the fact that she had spoken the word defendant so loud, took such a personal affront to it. It was just all a show, so much drama, so much acting, so much crazy narcissistic abuse. And then finally, my favorite, word salad. You know, when they're making an argument and they're talking about all these different things, and they have nothing to do with each other, and they just keep talking and talking. It's a rant. It's just a rant. And there were several of them. I think one lasted 40 or 50 minutes. The judge gave him so much leeway because she didn't want a mistrial or to be turned over in appeal. So she had to give so much leniency to this behavior, and she has incredible patience and fortitude, because I don't know who else could have done such a good job in that situation. But he was allowed to go on for 40 or 50 minutes straight on a rant where you were trying to get from point A to point B and we could just never get there. You can't connect the dots because they don't connect, and we're just trying to figure out where this argument is going, and it's going nowhere. And this happened every time he was allowed to say anything, and he got, like I said, got a lot of leniency in being able to spout off the way he did. The disrespect, the superiority, the feeling of I'm better than everybody else, I deserve special treatment, I'm the victim here, I'm a victim of this system, this isn't a fair trial, all of those things without any empathy for the true victims in this case. So I hope you'll go look at a few of the videos that you'll be able to find on YouTube, because I think it's a real learning opportunity. This is what, like I said, a narcissist looks like in real life. See it as a case study. Know that this is what you can expect when you go into a contentious divorce from a narcissistic spouse. I'm not saying this to scare you. You absolutely must leave an abusive marriage to a narcissistic spouse. This shouldn't scare you from doing it. This should just make you understand that you need to be prepared and to get the right guidance and support so that you can get through this. It will not be easy. They will stop at nothing. They will not pull any punches. They are going to go full steam with everything they have, but you can get to the other side. You will never be free if you don't take that step. You will just always stay right where you are, which is untenable. You can't. You can't survive in that kind of a situation where there's 24/7 abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse, verbal abuse, psychological abuse, maybe physical abuse too. You can't stay in that sort of situation. It will wear you down. It will make you sick. It will just take all the life out of you in one way or the other. So this is a necessary step, but seeing what it's going to look like, I hope, helps you realize that you need to do the work to get yourself strong enough to be able to go the distance with someone like this. Look, it's not impossible. We all do it. I've done it. My clients are doing it. I know many, many, many people who have gotten to the other side and are living happy, healthy, drama-free lives. So you can do it too. And I hope that this inspires you to get stronger so that you can get out. If you would like to work with me or find out more about how I work with my clients, you can book a strategy session with me. So we'll have an initial call, and I will do as much as I can to give you some tools to start this process of healing and to get more information about what you can do, how you can take precautions, how you can prepare, and give you a roadmap for what this is going to look like. But you can do it. I hope you'll reach out. If you found this information helpful, would you please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. I've linked a couple of other videos here that I think you might also like, so I hope I see you in the next video.